Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. How are you? I'm going to apologize to you all for two reasons. First, I am 15 minutes late. I despise and loathe being late. It's my job to be on time. I think of it that way every day. And my friends in the corners here in the back in these chairs, I'm apologizing to you all right now. It's a packed house. I guess it's a good thing. Word's out. We do fabulous things in here. I'm sorry it's crowded, but it's going to be fun. We are here to have fun today. Someone asked me the other day, is this a Scared Straight program? This is not. However, yeah, my man saw me look at him. However, we do have fun in here. We're going to learn. My name is Shane Spencer. I have the privilege of working in this building with a team I've assembled today. The team has been together for about 4 years. Took this program over, we call it Schools in Court. I understand my friends from Broadneck, you guys doing some plea negotiations, some bargaining stuff in your classrooms. We're going to do that today, to touch on that. You probably see some of that today from our colleagues. Before we get started, though, I want you to welcome two players. I call them players. I should call them Chief Judge Barbera and Chief Judge Morrissey, Dr. Arlotto. Those three individuals make this all happen. By happen, I mean this is my office. You're in my office today. I should be doing work. Chief Judge Barbera has allowed me, through Chief Judge Morrissey, to come here today to have fun. This is a field trip for me and my team. We should all be doing things other than talking to you. But we have found, we thoroughly and firmly believe this room, this day, this office setting today is going to touch your lives. We hope we do that. But we could not, man, I like your tie. That was a conscious choice. I appreciate the choice you made on putting on a tie. My man, I love the Maryland tie. Chief Judge Morrissey, where are you? My man has a Maryland tie like yours, although his is black and white. Right. So listen, before we go any further, I'm going to ask you to please welcome the lady who makes all of this available, all of this happen, all of this possible. She's Chief Judge Barbera. She's the judge in charge of all the courthouses across the state, every last jurisdiction. She's in charge of all our responsibilities in this courthouse, but not just here, all across the state. And she makes this happen and allows it to happen. Chief Judge Barbera, will you welcome our students, please, ma'am?
Certainly.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh. Good morning, everyone, and forgive my back, those of you who are behind me. What the judiciary and the courts do is very important, but none of the individuals who have the honor, the humbling honor, if you will, of working in the court system is important. None of us is special. What we do is special. What we strive every day to do in advancing law and providing full access and accommodation in the courts, that's important. And so day to day, we are dealing with matters of law, and Judge Spencer, who is phenomenal. He has been doing this every year, and I so applaud your work, Shane. You are just fabulous, and thank you. As important as that work is that we do day to day, this, in my view, and I believe in the view of everyone who is in this room today, is equally as important. You are here today to enjoy yourselves, but at the same time to learn. And I am thrilled that you're here. Dr. Arlotto, where are you? Thank you so much to you and your staff, and I understand you've brought some of the leadership of the schools here in Anne Arundel County. I was a school teacher for 8 years, went to law school at night for the last 4 of those years. So I did then and I do now prize education, and Dr. Arlotto and I were talking about that earlier today. So those of you who are involved in educating, thank you. Thank you for helping our future become a better one, and of course you are it. So thank you, Dr. Arlotto. Thank you those who are the leadership and those who are on the ground in education. I understand 7 schools are represented today, and I have my crib sheet here. If you would raise your hand so I can get a visual. Broadneck. We have Lots of students from Broad Neck. Welcome. How about Chesapeake? Hello, big crowd. North County. Another big crowd, great. Arundel is here today. Okay, there's some energy. Annapolis. Do we have Annapolis School represented? Another big crowd. This is fabulous. How about the Harbor School? Is the Harbor School represented? Hello. And Indian Creek. Oh, great. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I know you will enjoy yourselves. I'm not going to take another minute of your time except to say, oh, how lovely. Thank you. Except to say that in addition to enjoying, you will learn. So you will listen, you will watch, and you will not stop listening and thinking about what you hear today. You will continue that conversation among yourselves, because I think as much as anything, you're talking among yourselves about the importance of some of the issues that we're going to be seeing and hearing about this morning. So have a good day. Keep your minds open to this. Keep your ears and your eyes open to what you will be seeing and listening. So thanks again. And now, my Shane? Oh, okay, great. A man who needs no introduction. Forgive my back here as I walk. Thank you. Thanks once again.
I actually don't have anything to say about the chief. He is a man among himself. I want to follow up what Judge Barbera just told you. I'm going to ask you to listen today. I'm going to ask you to listen to what happens, what transpires. Take note. Not notice, not notes, notes in your mind about what transpires in this courtroom, what you see, what you hear. I'm going to ask you to make some choices going forward. You're all here because you're leaders. I know this. Dr. Arlotto will tell you momentarily, but I know you're leaders. I know that this people right here, Creek, you're all juniors in Coach Cook's class. You're going to be rising seniors. By definition, you have to lead next year, in my opinion. By definition, you have to lead next year. Annapolis, you're here with Mr. Elston's class, and I know you guys lead, because Dr. Arlotto had a program down the street at the hospital, and during that program, he handed out a bunch of awards to leaders. And the school board represented by students, and they came from Mr. Elston's Annapolis class. I know that you're leaders. I want you to lead. Leading does not always mean you have to stand up and say something. You can lead by example. You can lead by silence, by not saying something you shouldn't be saying something. Lead. Choose to lead, though. I tell my sons and my daughter all the time, I need you to be a leader, not a follower. You're all leaders here because you're here today. I know this. This program started about 12 years ago. The team that's here today took it over about 3 years ago. And Ms. Poisson, I saw her this morning. Our goal when we took it over was to have every high school in this county here. Why not? Today we're there. Our goal was to fill the courtroom. Why not? Okay, I did a little bit over top today. We're packed. My bad. My bad. Okay? But you got to get the word out from Mr. Hood's class in Arundel. Any baseball players back there? Any sports back there? Baseball? I was on to y'all on Saturday. I was down your field watching you. I have a question for you later about y'all, because watching y'all practice, I heard Mr. Hood talking to y'all about what you were doing in your drills. See, we don't just come here and talk to you. We get out in front of it because we want to lead. And by that, Chief Judge Morrison can tell you how he led, because we used to do this twice a year. We had about 50 kids in the room. Now we do it 4 times a year, and today I'm confident we have 250 kids in this room. It's the most ever. That is Chief Judge Morrissey's vision and dream he allowed us to go forward with, and I appreciate that. He's here today with his staff, his administrative judges, the judges from all across the state who are in charge of their courthouse, their jurisdiction, the commissioners. People all across the state are here to see this program, because we believe this program is that awesome. Chief, thanks for having your people here today, sir.
Thanks, Shane. Good morning, everyone. My name's John Morrissey. I'm the Chief Judge of the District Court. The District Court, you're in a District Court building right now. There's 34 other courthouses throughout the state. They run all the way from Garrett County. Anybody been to Garrett County? To Oakland. It's the highest point in Maryland, over 3,000 feet. It gets over 112 inches of snow a year. And it goes all the way down to Ocean City. Have any of you ever been in the courthouse in Ocean City? I'm glad no one raised their hand. That's the first rule. Never raise your hand when someone asks you a question like that, right? Because I'm going to assume you got a ticket or you got arrested in Ocean City. You don't want that to happen, right? So we have a total of 43 locations, other offices that we work out in addition to the 34 courtrooms. We have 200 in, where's my executive director of commissioners? He was over here a minute ago. Supposed to be my muscle. He's supposed to protect me here. We have over 270 commissioners, and they're downstairs in this building right now. So if you were to get arrested today, you'd be brought to those commissioners, and they'd decide whether or not you were going to get to stay in jail until your trial or whether they were going to release you to trial or release you to go home before you came to trial. We have 118 judges. So Shame is one of 118 judges that we have. We have over 2,000 employees in the district court. The way the district court's structured is there's 12 districts that we have throughout the state. And I have my leaders from my courts who I rely on to run each of those 12 districts here today. Can you guys just stand up for a second, all my administrative judges? You didn't think you were going to get away without having to do something, right? Thank you, guys. They're here because I wanted them to see this program because I believe so strongly in this program and what Shame Spencer, Judge Spencer, has done in doing this. I'm not going to talk very much longer, but Jocelyn, will you come up here for just a moment? How you doing, Jocelyn? Thanks for coming up. Jocelyn, how do you know me?
He's one of my friend's dads.
So where did my friend, your friend, my son, right? Yeah. So I have two children. I have he's going to turn 16 tomorrow. Are you coming to the party? Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. I'm gonna have to order extra pizza. And I have a 13-year-old, and they both, by chance, happen to go to Indian Creek. That's why you heard me yelling, and that's why I knew that you were one of the leads in the play, and that you did all the lighting for the play, right? Stage manager, right? The overlord, don't they call you that? The reason why I brought Jocelyn up is because this last weekend was the musical, and my son was in the musical also with, I see a number of you guys. It was a great performance. I watched it 2 times and kind of a half of the other because I had already watched it 2 times, and I'm not sure I could stand a third repetition of it, but it was great. But my wife got called out of town because her father became ill, and she had to travel up to New Jersey to take care of her father, and it left me with the 2 boys. My younger boy plays soccer and basketball, and the older boy had to get to the play back and forth. And after the play, you guys went to an after party, is that right? You went to Double T Diner, and then they went to Anna Valerio's house, right? Yeah. I'm just checking to make sure the story my son told me is what actually happened. So I got this opportunity. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No, Jocelyn's not. But I had to make a decision because I couldn't be in 3 places. He's only 15, he's going to be 16. And one of the rules that we had established pretty early on is I really didn't want him driving with his friends yet. I didn't want him being in the car with his friends yet. I didn't think, right or wrong, I didn't think he was old enough to do that yet. And this was the first time that I had to make the call without my wife being there because she usually makes these type of decisions. Whether I was going to let Will drive in the car with Jocelyn to go to Double T Diner, which he did drive with you, right? Just still checking. Okay. These are the things that parents worry about, okay? And I know that may sound kind of strange to you. Why don't I trust my 15-year-old to get in a car? It's because I'm a district court judge and I sit up here and I hear the mistakes that people your age and older, it's not limited to you all, make. When you start, who drives here? Everybody got a hand up? Driving's like anything else, right? When you were young, if you wanted to play basketball or soccer, whatever your sport is, or even going to school, you weren't a great basketball player at age 5, right? You were learning how to play basketball, and you practiced, right? So I'm worried that you guys don't have as much practice as someone that's older on it. But I had to take that leap of faith, and I'm going to tell you what I told my son before I left out there. I said, remember who you are, son. When you get in that car, remember who you are and where you came from. And I said, if you feel uncomfortable at any point in the night, you don't need to stop everybody. You don't need to be the hero and go out there. What you need to do for me is you need to say, I'm out, guys. I'm not going to participate in this. Not that I'd ever believe Jocelyn would speed or do anything wrong in her car. I certainly don't. I trusted her enough to take care of my prized son, right, who I'm investing in and who I want to see succeed in the most worst possible way. Everything I've devoted the last 16 years of my life to making sure he gets what I think is appropriate so that he'll succeed and do better than I am. And I think I can look around to every other parent in this room, and they're all kind of nodding their head in approval because that's what their children mean to them. And so I said, if you feel uncomfortable at any point in the night, stop what you're doing, get your cell phone and call me. No questions asked, I'll show up. And if you don't feel comfortable with calling me, I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. They're all uncles and aunts of his. And I said, pick them up and call them. And I said, if you don't feel comfortable with that, call the police and tell them that you need somebody to come get you right now because you think you're in trouble. So I'd encourage you to keep that kind of thing in mind when you're out there, because you're going to be exposed to situations where you know it's not right. You're walking into it and you're going to see one in just a moment. And you may not even realize it when you first get involved in it, but then all of a sudden you're going to say, uh-oh, this is going bad, and I could end up in jail. And if you end up in jail, it's bad news from that moment forward. It's going to cost you lots of money. You may be in jail. 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds go to jail every day in the state of Maryland. It's going to ruin your potential to go forward in life through job employment and all sorts of other things. So just remember that you don't have to be the hero. You just have to take care of yourself and get yourself out of the situation. Everybody got that? Thank you very much, Jocelyn, for getting my son to and fro the other night. I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Don't be a hero, just lead. That's all he said. I heard him say it. Don't be a hero, lead. Lead by example. Be a leader, not a follower. The other leader in this room is Dr. Arlotto, who led us where we are. He allowed this program to grow. I know I keep telling you that, but I can't tell you how important the team is in my mind. There's a team here of players who are involved with me and the team that I have that's going to put the program on in a few moments. But the bigger team are the ones you're about to hear from. You heard from Chief Judge Barbera, Chief Judge Morrissey, but Dr. Arlotto's allowed this program to grow, to allow you to be here on a field trip. You're not in class. Enjoy it. But learn. Do something. If you leave here today, 5 of you made a good choice, we've succeeded. If 10 of you made a good choice, we get the ball out of the park. If one of you made a good choice, I'm happy. They're happy. We've succeeded again. Just one of you. And P.S., see Jocelyn, get Will's number, call Chief Judge Morrissey, he'll pick you up. Yes. 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 Hey, I heard it. You heard him say it. He told Jocelyn, call him. My team is ending our program for the year, this year, school year. This is our 4th one. And we talked about going downstairs with Ms. Chester. In our dance floor, we have files that are no longer there. We have now computers, so we have space. We're going to make it a dance floor. I wanted to put, Chief Judge Barbera still here? I wanted to put a disco ball down there and bring in some fun. And Chief Judge Morrissey is going to drive us all home. He said, I heard him. Now look, Dr. Arlotto's here. He's made this happen on behalf of all of you. You're all students in this county. He oversees all of that. Please let him welcome you on behalf of the Board of Education, all right? Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. All right, everybody do me a favor. Take a deep breath. Oh, there you go. Feels pretty good. Do one more. All right, you're in for a treat. You're in for a bit of a ride. So one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves in Anne Arundel County is we try and involve our students in lots of different events, in lots of different objectives, and ways to get you involved both inside and outside of the classroom. And I know that our friends from Harbor, I know our friends from Indian Creek, you guys and your teachers and your leaders want to do the same. And this is one of these things. Today is one of these programs that isn't going to show up on a transcript, probably isn't going to show up in a college essay and a college application, but we think is going to have a profound impact on you. And so again, we apologize for the standing room only. We're really excited that you're here. But I ask you to take those 2 deep breaths because I want you to relax, but I want you to focus on what you're going to hear and what you're going to experience today because it really is cool. This is one of my favorite events, one of my favorite things that we do in this county every year. And it happens because we've got partners Judge Spencer, this is his world, not mine. This is his office, as he said. Chief Judge Barbera, Chief Judge Morrissey allow us, and this partnership's been going on for some time, and it's growing and it's getting better, not because of me, but because of the work they do. So as the educator, let me do a little bit of pre-teaching. All right, so you're going to hear about, as you have already heard, from Judge Barbera, Chief Judge Barbera and Chief Judge Morrissey, a little bit about the way the school system, about the way the judicial system works in this courtroom, in this courthouse, and across the state, right? So that's one of the things. Then there's going to be a little bit of role playing. We're going to have a little bit of fun, and there's going to be some role playing right here, right in front of you, all right? Then there's going to be a little bit of Q&A, and then you're going to hear from a nurse that works at shock trauma. And she's going to talk to you about her work and some of the things that she has seen and done in her work. And then, when that's over, we're going to pull the screen down. Judge Spencer's going to go in the back room, and he's going to come back in his judge mode. He's going to have his robes on, and they're going to conduct 3 cases. Real cases will be tried right here. We've got the state's attorney, and his office is here as the prosecutors. We've got public defenders. The defense attorneys are here, and they're going to try those cases in front of you. Then Judge Spencer's going to go in back after those real decisions have been made, and he's going to come back in his suit, and he's taken off his robe, and he's going to spend some time answering your questions. So that's what's going to happen today. I guarantee you're going to laugh, and you should. I guarantee you you're probably going to cry, and that's realistic, all right? But there are 2 things that you need to know and understand, and this is my final point as we go through this. The underlying premise behind this is 2 pieces. 1, make good decisions. I have 3 children myself. One's a junior in college, one's a senior in high school, and she's killing me, and one is a freshman in high school. And it's just that age when I talk about my senior in high school. She's applying to school, she's trying to make those decisions. Oh, and then I've got the 2 of them. Well, that's a whole nother story. We won't go down that whole sibling rivalry. But we talk in my house about making good decisions. You've heard Judge Morrissey talk about making good decisions. You're going to hear every person that comes up here today is going to talk to you about making good decisions, because decisions you make today could impact who you are and what you do in your lifetime, could impact your friends, your family, your classmates, and could be life or death. And that's just the reality. It's not about scared straight, as Judge Spencer said, it's about reality. And so the second point is, first point, make good decisions. The second point is, there are people out there that you don't know that love and care about you. There are people out there that you don't know that love and care about you. And many of them are right here. They take time out of their day and their work, and they don't know you. But they want you to make good decisions. They don't want you to end up in court, in jail, working with the police department, state troopers, public defenders, other judges, or end up in shock trauma. There are people out there that love and care about you, and you don't even know them. We are very, very excited you're here today. This is going to be a lot of fun. Take one more deep breath. Let's have some fun. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy you call me Judge Judy, see? I just whispered Dr. Arlotto's ear. Last time he was here, he referred to me as Judge Judy. I was kind of offended by it. Now, that part's over. Let's have fun. What's up, Creek? Run where y'all at? Yeah, that's my people right there. My people right there. Who's over here? Where's Chesapeake? Up front, Chesapeake. Harbor, I saw you right here, didn't I? There's Harbor. Where's Broadnet? All around, all over. Now, I'm going to ask you to give me your attention. I'm going to ask, Marcel, you still here? Listen to me. Marcel's the bailiff in the back, because Eddie in the back over here. When I have on my black robe, I call it my dress. If y'all talk in this sanctity of a courtroom, Marcel, thank you. Thank you. That door over there, a man right there behind that door, that's the door. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Respect the courtroom that it is. Give me your respect, because I respect you. Dr. Arlotto just said it. I don't even know y'all. I don't even know you. Maybe I know some of y'all. I like you. My team behind me, they love you. They do. They do. That's why they're here. They're not getting paid for this. They're not getting paid for this. We're going to have some fun now. Now listen, this is what? April what? 6th. Prom's coming. Who's going to prom? You need a date? Darn it. I saw you in the play. See, I was at the play too. I saw you in the play. I got some moves too, girl. All right. Prom, graduation. Where's the graduation party? Party? See? That's what I'm talking about. Now listen, this is my best opportunity. Ms. Poisson, my best opportunity ever. I have 200 some odd students in here. I'm going to have 200 some odd graduates. We've done this program for 4 years, 4 times a year, and not once. Okay, that's not true. Only once. Only once in 16 programs have I received an invitation in the mail saying, hey, Shane, bring you and your team to my graduation. We want to have a party with y'all. I want to go. Listen to me. I want to go. Listen to me. If I go, I'm not coming alone. I'm bringing my whole team. Big old West Adams over there. That dude can party. What? Look how big he is, right? Tiffany Holly, she wears pink all the time. We come and party. But listen to me. I can't go to your party if you don't make good choices. If y'all mess up too soon, I can't come. Who you going to prom with? Do I know him?
You don't know her.
When's the prom?
June 1st?
Where is it?
On a boat in Annapolis.
How y'all get into the boat?
Probably my family's car.
That's a great idea. Who else is going to prom? Where's your prom? Where? What did he say? Do you know his name?
Yeah, it's Ramon.
Ramard? Yeah. Hold on, it's in the stadium? Like up in the skyboxes? Oh, what y'all doing? You go to school with them? No. Oh. Apparently that's a hot spot, right? Listen, y'all go to the prom. When you go to the prom, I need you to make good choices. If you get all the prom date stuff, that's all cool by me. But Arundel, y'all still playing baseball. Creek, y'all still playing lacrosse and baseball. Chesapeake, I saw y'all playing their stuff over there. Broadneck. When you go to a party this weekend, I'm going to a party this weekend at Morrissey's house. When you go to a party this weekend, I need you to make a good choice, right? Brandon, where you at? Come here. How are you? Good, how are you? I'm all right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend Brandon. I only know his name because I saw him in his tie, and the bailiff in the back of the courtroom saw his tie. That is one heck of a choice, right?
Yes,
Do you drive yet?
Yes, I do.
You drive? You want to drive
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah, if you want.
All right,
me
ladies and gentlemen, let's play a role here. Let's have some fun. We're going to go for a ride in my car. Your car or my car?
Your car.
What kind of car you got?
Mustang, but you probably have a better car.
You hear Brandon said? He said he has a Mustang. My car is better. I got a 2003 Hoopty, bro. Come on. Sit down. You be the driver. Anybody over there know Brandon? Y'all know Brandon? Yeah, how they know Brandon? How y'all know Brandon? Drive, bro. Look, Brandon's driving the car. Who wants to go for a ride with Brandon? Ramar, I know you do. I know you do. Come on. Come on. Come on. What's up? What's your name? Ramar. You gonna ride Brandon? Hold on. Do you know him? All right. Screw it. Whatever. Oh, you know them?
No, but she wants to. I want to know him.
You want to know him? Girl, come on.
Go, get it, Shelby.
What's your name?
Shelby.
Shelby. So look, Shelby, do you know Brandon?
Nope.
Do you know Ramar? Where do you go to school?
I go to Broadneck.
Broadneck. Have a seat. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What's your name?
Calvin.
Calvin. You want to ride for them? Do you know them, Calvin?
I know Shelby.
You know Shelby? How you know her?
Broadneck.
You go to school with her? All right, come on. Where y'all going?
Huh?
Where y'all going? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me now. Listen to me now. Let's get back on our roll now. I got 4 kids in the car. Ramar doesn't know Brandon. Brandon doesn't know Shelby. Calvin knows Shelby, but not Brandon and Ramar. We're going for a ride. Everybody's cool with that, right? Hold on. Do you have a license, bro? Yes. All right. He has a license. Thank God. Where y'all going? Let's go. We go to my house? No, no, psst. Morrissey's not home. Let's go to the Morrissey house. He ain't home. Where, he's still here? He's not home. All right? Now, anybody want to be law enforcement? What do you want to do? You want to be, what do you mean you want to be? It's not something, you gotta have a desire to do it. Yes. Okay. Anybody want to go to law enforcement for a career? You do? What do you want to do? For real? How old are you? Are you a criminal? Just checking. Come here. What's your name? Nick. Nick, I'm going to deputize you. Be my cop. Every cop needs a cool car, bro. Can you drive?
Yes.
All right, come over here, let's drive. Let's see. I don't watch you drive. Come on. Brandon, are you looking at me? The road is there. Dude. Don't look, cook. Drive. Hold on. We need to have music in the car. Where's the speaker? Right there. Every good car needs music. You got stereo? Shh. What? Listen. Here we go. Brandon, drive. Go ahead, Shelby. I see you, Shelby. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Come on, girl. Feel it. Get it. Brandon, you got to drive, man. 10 and 2. Pull him over. He's speeding, man. McKay. You can't look at me and drive, dude. Don't look at me. You're making me nervous. At your who? At your mirror? Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
220 radio.
Listen up.
220.
Home in traffic stop, 1300 block, Tyler Avenue. How you doing?
Stay right here, Nick. Stay right here. Stay
Good.
right here.
10-4.
You know why I pulled you over?
No, sir.
You know, you have a tail light out. Do you have your license and registration on you?
Yeah. Get it.
Where you all on the way to?
McDonald's?
McDonald's?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any McDonald's in this neighborhood. Do you know where you are?
No.
This is-
I don't know him.
You don't know him? You sure? All right. You sitting in the passenger seat of his car.
I've been kidnapped. Like, he
You've been kidnapped?
be brainwashing me, you feel me?
Okay. All right. How about you two? Do you know this gentleman?
I don't know.
No? All right. Well, you all in a high crime neighborhood, okay? You have a taillight in your vehicle. We just had a homicide here last night.
Okay.
All right. There's no McDonald's around here at all, so where are you on the way to?
Someone's house.
Someone's house?
Yeah.
Okay, whose house?
His?
His house? Okay. All right. Why does your vehicle smell like marijuana?
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Pause. Pause. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Pause my story right now. Listen where we are. We're down in some street. Brandon has no idea where he is. With some dude who thinks he was brainwashed. Also, McKay smells marijuana. And my man owns the marijuana. You smell marijuana, what are you going to do?
I'm going to search this vehicle, sir.
Oh, no. Hold on. Now, hold on. Judge Barbera, I read Daily Record on a regular basis. And I read what your court recently did. Can Officer McKay go ahead and pull everybody out who smelled marijuana in this vehicle, ma'am?
Yes.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You know, I'm going to call for a dog.
You go for, oh.
220 radio.
Did you get him?
220.
Can you start K9 my location, please?
Real dog we come here? Is this a real dog?
This could be one of those days.
10-4. Is it okay to you? We can start with 220.
Do any of you have ID on you now?
Yes.
No. Yes? No. No?
Yes.
Yes? Can I have your ID, please?
So at this point, we have 40 people in the car. We have one ID. He has no idea who the other 3 people are. He has to run now a background check, at least a name check for all 3 individuals. We have
20 radio.
one ID. That's easy. It's in the NBA. He has a computer in his car right now.
I believe the subject has a warrant. Can you just confirm it, please?
Oh, Lord.
10-4, go ahead with the name.
Last name Harris, common. First name Brandon, middle name Donnell.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Date of birth is showing his date of birth to be 1/17/2000. 1/17/2000. Can you just confirm? I have an MDT hit on my car.
Right now, Officer McKay just told dispatch that Brandon has a warrant for his arrest. They're going to run that warrant. He called for a canine dog and make a sweep. You want to get up?
Yeah, I do want to like dip real quick.
You want to get out? Why are you so nervous? Why do you want to get out?
Pull him out.
I tell you
Pull
what.
him out.
While I'm waiting, I'm by myself. There's nobody else around here. Until I have a backup officer. Come here. For my safety, okay? I'm gonna place you in cuffs. All right.
Hold on. I'll interrupt you.
Stand
Ladies and
back
gentlemen,
here
hold on
for
one second. Now, I'm not sure you in the back heard. Ramar said he wanted to get up. He was feeling like he had to go to the bathroom. He wanted to dip. He said he wanted to dip. What does that mean to you?
He's gonna run, sir.
He's going to run. Now, you're by yourself on the street. Let's just call it at 4 a.m. My man said here because you took him out of the car and sat on the side of the road, it's police brutality. Judge Morrissey, are you still here? I'm here. Is that police brutality? That's not police brutality. Judge Barbera, is that contrary to the Constitution, pulling him out, just sitting him on the side over
220.
there?
It is not contrary to the Constitution.
Mr. Karad, are you?
You show 1099 with our department, pay portion radio.
10-4.
That's a good answer.
Sir, do me a favor, stand up. All right, Your Honor, this subject does have a warrant for his arrest.
Oh, Brandon. Oh, you're not gonna help me? Just stand right here. No, I ain't coming near you, bro. Just stand right here. Just stand right here.
Stand
No, I ain't
next to
coming
him,
near you,
please.
all right? Don't be nervous. I'm gonna stand in front of you, all right?
Thank you, sir. Ma'am,
Oh,
can you
man.
step out of the vehicle, please? Put your hands on your back for me, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're talking.
stand
I
next to
assume
him,
because you're
please.
nervous too. I'm nervous. Now listen to me.
Sir, you stand
He
up, please.
smelled marijuana. Ramar said he had marijuana. They want to dip. He said he wanted to dip. No choice. We had to stop him. How long has it been since we made a stop? About 5 minutes? 6 minutes? What do you got? 6? 12 minutes? 5? All right. Watch the dog. Watch the dog. Oh, boy. Trooper Foss, what happened?
Bureau just alerted to the presence of the odor of narcotics.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear what he said? Trooper Foss, what happened?
Bureau just alerted to the presence of the odor of narcotics in the vehicle.
Uh-oh.
Good boy.
Now what?
Now we searched the car, the whole car.
The whole car?
Yep.
Darshan, Trooper Foss was looking the whole car. Is that okay?
It is, Judge. He has, he's got probable cause. He has the smell of marijuana, the lack of IDs, open warrants. Everything in that car is subject to search now.
Do any of my friends, my students, have an objection or problem with now the officers looking in this car? Great answer. That's a great answer. Now, Trooper and Officer McKay, you're gonna look in the car, probably in the glove box and just under the seat, right?
No, we're going to search this entire vehicle.
The
sir.
entire vehicle.
Front to back.
Trunk?
Trunk,
Underneath the seat.
Underneath the
underneath the
seat.
seat,
Underneath the wheel in the back of the trunk.
underneath the hood.
Oh, smack. All right. Would you look at this car and see if there's any? I mean, no, I doubt it. I mean, it's Brandon. Shelby, I mean, come on. Jamar, he ain't had nothing on him, right? I mean, he goes to Indian Creek. I mean, it's a good school. Is that a good school? Good kids there?
Whose backpack is this?
I said it's not.
Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Whose is this? And now, where y'all at? Whose is this? Oh, sweet Pete. Now what are you gonna do with it?
We're gonna search it, sir.
Sweet Jesus.
You said this was your bag? No, you don't know? Okay. Well, whoever it is must be going away to a heck of a party. You got some weed in here. You got weed.
You got some raw marijuana,
Heroin.
heroin,
Coke.
some coke.
Some coke. Some more weed.
The heck? What the heck?
I'm gonna give those to you. Take them over.
Huh? Huh? Mr. Adams, do we call this circumstantial evidence? I think that's a clue. Is that a clue? Huh? Huh? But hold on. How much marijuana and heroin was that, Trooper Foss?
It's like, well, hold on. 51 grams there, and it's about 120 something.
51 grams of heroin, 120 grams of marijuana. That's probably his personal use. That's probably a straight misdemeanor civil citation. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me now. Trooper Foss just found 50 grams of heroin, 120 grams of marijuana in that bag, and Mr. Adams, State's Attorney, said it's a civil citation, $50 fine, right?
No,
No?
I didn't say that. I said it's a felony possession with intent to distribute, 20-year offense.
20-year offense
Just for the heroin.
Okay, hold on. Here's the most important question so far, ladies and gentlemen. The most important question I have for Trooper Foss or Officer McKay. You found all of that stuff right there in this car. I don't know who it belongs to. I have a sweatshirt from
Indian Creek.
somebody. I have a bag from Annapolis, but you know who was sitting on it.
And your front seat passenger admitted to it.
And Ramard said he had some marijuana. So who do you charge, Officer McKay?
Charge everyone, sir.
I'm sorry, who?
Charge everyone.
With felonies?
Yes.
All four.
All four.
Trooper Foss, who gets locked up?
All four.
Hold on. Oh, you got a lawyer? Where is she? She's in the back. Don't worry. Hold on. She's great. Well, listen to me. Hey, now listen to me. Ramar asked a question. He said, don't I got a lawyer? The answer is yes. But this is Friday night at about midnight. So when are you going to see your lawyer? When's he going to see you, Miss Holly? On Monday. So he's a passenger in the car. Shelby said Uber, whatever. Passenger in the car, picked up, charged on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday. At what time, Judge Morrissey, we're going to have that bail review?
I don't know what time you guys do.
Oh, we do 10:30-ish.
Prince George is 1 o'clock.
We do 10:30 here in Anne Arundel County. Judge McCann, this young man has 50 grams of heroin, 120 grams of marijuana. He wants to go home on his own recon.
Not gonna happen.
So he's going to be in jail. On a felony, Mr. Adams?
Yes. Multiple felonies, actually.
All because he made a bad choice. I ain't say Brandon's a bad dude. He ain't know Brandon. Got in the car with Brandon. I'm not saying it was a bad choice to own the marijuana, but he says my marijuana, now he gets charged with it. Shelby doesn't even know Brandon or Ramar, got in the car, sat in the bag that she got from a friend from Annapolis,
Hey, get up.
and now she's going to jail. Calvin doesn't know nobody. Just for Shelby, she made a bad choice. Hanging out with her, now we're all gonna go to jail. Cool, right? No. I don't disagree. Because right now, I'm still talking. Officer McKay's still running their names. They're still in handcuffs. But in real life, he probably has them on their bottoms on the concrete waiting. And he probably has called another officer. They probably has searched them. We take them back to Taylor Avenue. What happens then?
Yes, sir. Take them back to the station. We're going to book them, process them, fingerprint them, everything else.
Brandon was smiling real pretty for the camera right here, but I'm gonna guarantee when he calls his mom and tells mom he got locked up, that mugshot ain't gonna be no smiling going on. I'm pretty sure. Now, at the end of the day, at that point, at 10:30 in the morning, Brandon comes to my office. And he's on TV in my office. I get a look at him. Actually, I don't see his head up, so I don't know where he goes to school. You have no tie, you can take a tie. You have no shoelaces, you have no belt. You're wearing green, a jumpsuit, not creek green. It's called Jennifer Road Green. And now I gotta make a decision. I choose. Brandon go home. Brandon stay with my friends from the detention center. Now, Brandon's mom and dad will come, Coach Cook will come and say, what are you gonna say about this dude? You know him? Great guy. Great guy. Great leader. Know him, right? Bad day, right? Bad day. Bad choice. I am not implying getting out and having fun is not a good thing. Let me tell you from the outset, I'm already an hour in. We are not the fun police. They are the police. They're not the fun police. No one here is. I'm not suggesting you don't have a good time in your lives, in your high school careers. Not for 1 second would I suggest that. I would ask you to make a good choice. I'd ask you to lead. Lead. Going forward. I'm not implying that they shouldn't be hanging out friends. Know something. Know him. Not implying you shouldn't hang out and go have them. Friends. Of course I want you to hang out with friends with different schools. Of course we do. I enjoy a good rivalry. Judge McKenna in the back there, he's an Arundel alum. He's not a big fan of Broadneck. Okay. I like Broadneck, whatever he says. Chesapeake, I enjoy you too. Annapolis, I love you. But listen to me. It doesn't mean you have to make bad choices. Don't jump in a car with somebody you don't know. Do not do that. Ask questions. It's okay. You all have phones, don't you not? I know you got Ubers, right? What do you say, you don't have Uber? I'm going to ask you to make a good choice, not a bad one. We end up right here. Because you make a bad choice, then I got to decide something. And trust me, if I'm deciding, it's not a good thing. Right? Good answer, Brandon. Now, at the end of the day, they're locked up. They get out on Monday. Ms. Holly or Mr. Carrad, they're four charged. We go to trial. What happens now? Let's say Mr. Brandon is charged with PWID and the distribution and or the possession. Is he going to be convicted of all those things? He's just driving the car.
Yeah, certainly we're going to have our trial options, be it probably a jury trial with the felony charges in place at circuit court, and we're going to challenge those things. We're going to negotiate with Mr. Adams and Mr. Antonio to see if there's a plea bargain to be struck that's amenable to Brandon, where we plead to one or some of the charges, and the balance of them would be disposed of.
Possibly do motions to suppress about his statement of the drugs, figure out what trial options we have.
Correct.
Now, before we go any further, I want to know if my friends in the back can see the screen, because I saw here Brandon was standing next to Lamar and Kelby, we saw Euro, who's Shooper Foster's partner, alert. Anybody in the back, did you see how he alerted? No. Tell them how he alerted. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that his final alert? Is that his first? How does that work?
Yeah, that's what we use as a final response for their detection work. They don't necessarily need a sit for it to be an alert for me. It looks pretty for everybody else when you have it on camera. It looks good for the attorneys and defense attorneys and all that. But me and Euro have been working together now for about 6 years. So I know everything that changes in him when he smells the odors that he's trained on. He's only trained to alert and to show any interest in 7 different odors. He doesn't work on anything else. He doesn't work for food. He doesn't, we don't play those kind of silly games with him. He does come home with me and he does hang out with my family, but he's not trained on anything else like that, so that we know that these behavior changes that he shows me when I get to see them, that you guys might not see or you guys might overlook. The sit looks great for court purposes, but it's not necessarily needed for me to say that he alerted to the odor of narcotics in the vehicle or in the locker or in the storage unit or in the house. Sometimes on search warrants they bring us into houses, but I can use the behavior changes as his alert, not just the final response of the sit.
What does he alert to, Trooper?
He alerts to marijuana, hash, ecstasy, meth, cocaine, heroin, and black tar heroin.
You said something about a trunk or a locker. Does that mean that our scenario here is open, but windows are up, heat's on, I have 5,000 air fresheners in my car? You can't smell that, right?
Well, no, it's actually, actually sometimes works in their favor for, you know, masking, what we call masking odors, air fresheners, coffee grounds, dryer sheets.
Why?
Because the dogs can separate odors. The dogs, you know, the analogy Judge Spencer loves that I use is, we call it the beef stew method. When your parents are cooking beef stew or they're cooking something, you go into the kitchen and you smell beef stew, right? Well, when the dog goes into that kitchen, the same kitchen, the dog can smell the broth, the meat, the potatoes, the carrots, the onions, the celery. The dog can smell everything separate. So it actually helps us out when there's a lot of one odor, because the dog is easily able to throw that out and not use that when he's working. He can throw that out first and focus on what he's trained to detect.
So that marijuana in the trunk, in a Ziploc, in Tupperware, in a backpack, covered in coffee grounds, Euro still smells?
As long as the odor is available to the dog will be able to detect it, yes.
Now, in my years, I've learned that we don't, as high school kids, anymore use lockers that often, but let's just call it a locker or a locker room. How about that?
Well, lockers, as you know, are metal, and they have holes in them. You know, the separators have holes in them. So if Euro were to do a locker scan and he alerts to a locker, well, we're not only going to search that one locker, because the air can travel through those holes. So depending on where that air is traveling, you know, we may search that locker and the 5 to the right and the 5 to the left. You know, it all is, that would all end up being up to the school or whoever, which ones we search. But when we tell them that, hey, the dog alerted this bank of lockers, most likely all that entire bank is going to get searched.
Let's ask the question. Dr. Arlotto, if you're hit on one locker in a bank of 30, the student says, I don't want you to look at my locker. You're going to say, okay, we won't look, right?
Nope, we'll search the lockers, and we'll probably search the whole bank of lockers, all 30.
Who owns those? You.
School system, they're ours.
Mr. Cook, in your locker room, all those lockers back there, that pretty locker room back there, who owns all of them? So if Trooper Falsman looking 1 or 50 of them, he's okay, right? So what I'm trying to make you understand, I'd like you to understand, not make you, I'd like you to understand is, hey, that one locker may have something that belongs to, I won't pick on him anymore, her. She brought it in. I don't even know her. She brought it in. But it's in the locker because she put it there because she's trying to stash it from some student. We're gonna look at all your lockers. And if you have it, oh no, we all get arrested, right?
Judge Spencer, why did the 2 people in the back seat get arrested?
Huh. Officer McKay, why did you arrest the 2 in the back seat, sir?
The 2 in the back, sir, were sitting in relation to where the bag was found.
Lunge, reach, and grasp
In,
area?
in that immediate lunge and reach area. It was
Somebody
close.
sitting on it.
It was close enough for the person sitting in this seat to easily have stashed it under the seat where it was found.
Judge Morrissey, that comes before you. Do you have a problem with them being charged, at least charged with those 4?
It's a doctrine called constructive possession. It means that if you have the ability to get a hold of it, you're going to get charged with it. You can be found guilty of it. So if one person in the car has drugs on them, everybody in the car is constructively in possession of that drug.
I concede to you that the lawyers in this courtroom would make arguments that not all 4 had it. I concede to you that Judge Barbera or Judge Morrissey may say that that's true and not all 4 should be charged and or convicted. I concede that to you. What I'd like to bring home to you is all 4 are going to be charged. All 4 are going to be arrested. All 4 are going to go to jail. All 4 are going to get printed, mugshotted, and maybe worst of all, at least for me, in my house, at least for him in his house, and him in his house, and her, and her, and her, and her. The worst thing is the phone call to mom and dad. The worst thing is the phone call to mom and dad. What I would tell you is, don't get in the car with that stranger you don't know. Call your mom and dad. Call Morrissey.
Shame, in our case too, it's not just a phone call to mom and dad. It's probably going to be on the front page of the Capitol, the front page of the Washington Post, and the front page of the Baltimore Sun.
The distinction that, yeah, that's problematic for me because as some of you may know, my son may share my name. His last name is not yet common in the area, at least not here in Anne Arundel County.
That's why he goes by Norrisy instead of Morrissey.
That phone call to your mom and dad is going to be the worst experience. I'm going to tell you that right now. I understand that you're teenagers, you're young adults. But as a parent, I'm going to tell you, stepping away from my office and what I do for a day job, my full-time job, my everyday 24/7 job as a parent, the best job known to mankind, and I love it. I love every second of it. What I'm going to tell you is that when you make that phone call to your mom or dad, your grandmother, your aunt, your godmother, they're going to be upset. They may not cry yet, they're going to be upset. And they may cry later, they're going to be upset and disappointed. Disappointed. I tell you that because, well, I'm looking at you, and I know you're here. You're here for a reason. So they expect better of you. They want more for you. And we here want to give you the opportunity. See, if you lead, you choose right, make good choices, you won't be here. I don't get to choose. I get to choose a lot. I don't want to choose for you. We're good? Yeah. Y'all want to come out cuffs? Want to come out? You sure? You sure? I mean, we can hang out with them.
Why didn't you get arrested since it was your phone?
Officer McKay, I own that vehicle. I wasn't there. Why wasn't I arrested?
Because, sir, you weren't there in the vehicle at the time.
P.S. Did I call my car in stolen? Call that joker in stolen.
You may, should I check for you?
That's a new charge, Brandon. You have a question?
I had a question. So if any of us had a parent that was related to the government, military, or any law enforcement, what would happen to them regarding
That is a great question. The question was if your parent was involved in the government or the military, things of that nature, over where I live, NSA type thing, what happens to them? Anybody know? I imagine, go ahead, yes ma'am. Hey, good loser. That is going to happen. You have that marijuana, you have that weed, you have that heroin, you break that crime. You're charged with distribution, your parents will be notified. But your parents, for their clearance, have to report that charge to you. Your mom, your dad may lose his clearance, her clearance. I'm not sure about you. When I was your age, I needed my daddy's money. I didn't have a job. I guess I was 16 when I had the job. When I was 13, 14, no job. 15, papers was my job. Enough money to buy a car like he has. He has a Mustang, dude. You're rich. Your mom and dad lose their clearance. They lose their job. It's on you. It's on you. What I'm going to tell you, I promise you, and I don't know firsthand experience, I can only tell you what I studied, what I read, what I witnessed in this courtroom, is I can tell you that little bit of high you get from that joint you smoke, that blunt, that little bit of high you get, that heroin high that you enjoy for a moment, that you shoot yourself up with that needle, ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. Yes, ma'am.
How come that the officer didn't become the Miranda rights?
Well, we fast forwarded, but when they're arrested, they don't get rid of the Miranda rights. And let's say they don't. Let's just say Officer McKay is in a rush. Trooper Foss has to go back to the street. They're not read the Miranda rights. They're arrested. They start talking all kinds of things. What happens then, Mr. Carrad?
Normally make that motion to suppress to keep those statements out of testimony.
Are they arrested now?
They're still going to be arrested, but that falls.
Right now?
They are in custody.
They're in custody.
They are not free to leave.
They're going to argue that. Mr. Adams, we're on the side of the road. It's 12 midnight. There's 4 of them. I have 1 ID. There's a bunch of heroin in the bottom and weed. There's a warrant for this guy's arrest. The car is not, I don't know whose car it is. He's okay having them on the side of the road, right?
Well, he's okay having them on the side of the road. Custody is, some of them may, well, now with the heroin out, probably in custody. I'd probably concede custody at that point because they know they're pretty much under arrest. But prior to that, they're not. Just because their handcuffs are on doesn't make them necessarily in custody. When Officer McKay first pulled them out and put them in handcuffs, that was for his safety. They're still in the traffic stop. I think I got a shot at winning that one.
At some juncture, that's for some judge to decide. Judge McKenna will sit up on that bench back there and he'll listen to Ms. D'Antonio and Mr. Carrad argue about that. Whether or not he was in custody or was he detained. Was he Mirandized properly? Did he make a statement that was blurted out, or was it a statement that well, let's say he said it. It was police brutality. They beat it out of him, right? Didn't you say that? Yeah. I think he loses that motion. I don't think he was beaten. But you know what? Some judge has to sit on that bench and decide whether or not those statements they make were voluntary, whether the officers did things appropriately. That's things that lawyers get to argue in this courtroom. That's their job. And it's never going to happen to you because you're never going to be charged. You're going to make good choices. 'Cause I don't want you sitting up there in the rain tonight with some people you don't know getting wet and cold, having to call somebody, right? Now, Trooper Foss has to take the dog back before he goes crazy. Anybody else want to ask him any questions about the dog, what he does, how he does it? Any questions for Euro? He speaks. Sorry. Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do you personally get to train with the dog?
Yep.
With Canine officer?
Yep, we train the dog from the beginning.
Cut him out. He's getting anxious. Any more questions for Trooper Foss or the dog? Trooper, thank you. How about Officer McKay? Before he leaves, any questions about what the officer did, why he did it? You all think it was a good stop, right? Good search? Good seizure? You think he had probable cause? I'm listening.
Like without.
I know how the driver got Ford Mustang.
How? See, I didn't rob the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let Trooper Foss and Officer McKay go momentarily. I appreciate their time. They do this for you. They're not getting paid to do this. They do this so you have experience. This is in our courtroom. This is a quick demonstration. But think about it. On the street, that dog smelling through that car. You make a bad choice with some bad people. People you don't know, not bad people. People you don't know. Bad things happen. So make some good choices for me, all right? Trooper, I appreciate it.
Yep.
I'll see you soon. You going home?
I'll come back up a couple times.
Oh, I have the drugs. You have the drugs? All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Always. Yeah, all right. Thanks, man. You out? Appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you, bro. Take care. You up? You want to stay in those? No, I don't think so.
Bob, did you get yours back? Okay.
We're going to do the video. Thank you. What's next? Is video next? Is the video? Sorry? Yeah. What's the shock trauma? Shock trauma. Okay. We're going to change gears now. I'm going to ask you to give me your undivided attention. I'm going to ask my friends right here if you want to come have a seat. I'm going to move these chairs over so you can sit right here. Come on, I want you all to sit down, please. Thank you. You're working double time today, boy. I want to share a video with you. It's a video that was made by my friends at PAD and Shock Trauma Hospital. It's a video, it's a true story. It's not make-believe. It's not something made for TV. It happened in this state. It happened to your peer. By your peer, I mean a student. By your peer, I mean the same age. I want you to watch the video. Watch the video. Pay attention. At the end, I have my friend, Miss Wilson. She's a nurse from Shock Trauma. She's also part of the PAD program. She'll explain that to you. She'll speak to you about the video. The video needs no introduction other than this person is your peer. This person is you. Please pay attention for me, all right?
Sean's dad said his next stop was going to be at a funeral home. That means Sean died. My name is Pat Wilson. I work at University of Maryland Medical Center, and I teach for the PAD program. PAD stands for Positive Alternatives to Dangerous and Destructive Decisions. Many times teenagers, young adults think you don't make dangerous and destructive decisions, and you're mad at your parents because they're gearing you that way so that you do not make a dangerous and destructive decision, and that's the purpose of the PAD program. In the video, Sean was getting high. Sean was smoking weed, marijuana, a blunt, whatever you call it today. He was hanging out with his buddies, doing what he called having fun. And when we think we have control, but when we take and put anything into our system, it changes our thinking process. It changes our body functions. So when we take a hit of something and we think we have control, but we're really out of control, where's our young man with the tie? Come on out. What has happened? You don't know Sean, but you now have been introduced to Brandon. So you know a little bit about Brandon. And Brandon originally was in a car with his buddies in a car, smoking weed. They found it in your car. And we don't think that the things that we do, the choices that we make, when we were raising our son, there were two words he always remembers: choice and consequences. There are consequences for the choices that we make. So whether you get in a car, you didn't know that if you went to jail and something was in your car, all your buddies would go to jail too? No, you didn't, did you? No. And so, but your parents are wise and know these things. So the purpose of your parents is to help move you forward. All of you have cell phones, and I want you to take out your cell phone right now, real quick, and then I'm going to ask you to put them back. Oh, okay. All right, so let me tell you, that is your lifeline, isn't it? What would I do without Facebook? What would I do without my social media? But how many of you have on your cell phones right now, by the end of December 31st, put a date, think of a date in your mind between now and December 31st, that you will put on your calendar, that you will choose a date, the most important date other than your birthday or Christmas or Easter, but a date that you will choose to be stopped by the police officer, K9 Popo. I know what they're called because I am married to this big 6'5", 250-pound hunk of a K9 police officer. So I know what you call him. But what happens, pick a date. Do you have a date in your mind? Raise your hand if you have a date in your mind on the calendar. That you will choose to be stopped by the police officer, to be handcuffed, to be fingerprinted, to go to jail, to have a car accident, to be in a coma. One of the speakers for the PAD program is from Witzke Funeral Home. She is the funeral director. I wish she were here today because she would tell you what her experience is from her job when she meets your parents, when she tells you goodbye, when she kisses you in the casket, when mama closes that casket, because she will never see you again, to bury you into the ground at the age of what? 17. At the age of 17. And so your life can change for a lifetime. Sean's life changed for a lifetime at the age of 17. He did not have on his cell phone a date to get high, to hang out with his friends, to get in the car, to drive, to go through a stop sign, to crash, to go into a coma, to have a tube on a ventilator breathing for him, to have tubes in orifices of his body that he did not even know exist, to have smells come out of his body that he didn't know he could smell that way, to say goodbye to his friends, his mother, his father. People ask me and my husband, what is the worst things that we see on our jobs? And I've seen some things, but the worst thing that I see is pain and suffering. That is the worst thing that I see because of choices that people make. You may make choices. We hope you make wise choices. We hope you choose to lead. But when you make a choice that is not wise, take a puff, take a hit, take a smoke, take a drink. I work for Choices for Life as part of the PAD program. It's working with teens. Last weekend, I worked with teenagers, a 12-year-old who was drunk with his friends off moonshine. I worked with a 14-year-old who was selling weed-laced, young girls, selling in school weed-laced brownies for $30 a brownie. And so they thought it was cute. They thought it was cute, but you know what a cute little teenage girl is selling weed-laced brownies? She's a drug dealer. You know what it is when you take a drink after another drink? You're an alcoholic. That's what we see. You could be 17 or 70, but that's what we see is pain and suffering when you take and choose, make choices. When you get in a car, a 10-ton vehicle, take a 99-cent key, put it into a 10-ton vehicle, have drinks, have drugs, you become a dangerous and deadly weapon here in Anne Arundel County or wherever you're driving. We hope that for our PAD program, we travel around the state of Maryland teaching young adults. And we hope for our program that you learn and make some wiser choices so that because in our program, we don't want you to have the EMT or the helicopter pilot pick you up. And like the judge said, the worst call is that call to your mama and daddy. Nobody expects a call after your prom at 2 a.m. to tell them that your child is a patient in shock trauma, or your child is laying out on the street on 95, dead and drunk. Your child is out in jail, shackled, no choices, no rights right now. You deleted your right when you chose to get in your car and have weed and marijuana and heroin. Do you know it only takes 3 seconds to get addicted to heroin? 1, 2, 3, boom, it's got you. We're not trying to take away your fun, but we're trying to help you make different choices in life in the things that you do, Brandon. Because Sean will never wear shoes again, pants again, shirt again, a cool tie ever again because of the choices that he made when he got in his car and made a choice to get high with 3 friends he didn't know, with drugs in the car. In one of the videos that we show, a woman, because of a choice of a drunk 19-year-old, an entire community and generations were changed. Let me tell you what happened, and then I'm going to close. In this accident, a 19-year-old drunk driver got into his car with a 25-year-old drunk passenger. They went over the median strip. They were at the Maryland-Pennsylvania line. They went over the median strip. Nancy was hit with her family. She went into a coma in September. She came out of the coma in December. What did she miss? Let me listen to what she missed. Her husband was killed. Her daughter was killed. Her daughter's best friend was killed. Her son was killed. He hit 3 motorcyclists, amputated the leg off of one of the motorcyclists. I ride a Harley Davidson and I look so cute in my leather. But what happens when motorcyclists ride together, you ride as one. And if one goes down, the rest of you are going to go down. 3 motorcyclists, the 19-year-old drunk driver died, the 25-year-old drunk passenger died, and 3 of the EMTs that responded to that scene left the EMT world a month later. That is a lot of splatter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A whole row of you were just killed or maimed or harmed. Nancy missed what? Did you listen to what I said? She was in a coma in September, came out of the coma in December. What did she miss? The funerals of her family where a drunk driver was killed. In closing in the video, Nancy said it was September and all that she knew that she had a beautiful life. Children, young adults, my beloved, I'm going to tell you, it is April and you have a beautiful life. Do not further destroy it by taking a drink, a hit, a drug, whatever your language is today. It's not worth it. Be mindful of the choices you make. Be wise in the choices you make. Thank you very much.
Hey, y'all see me coming at you, so don't even try to duck from it. Come right at you, right at you. I heard oohs and ahs over here when Ms. Wilson was talking about the marijuana and the brownies. Let me tell you something. Ms. Chester, is it still true that a civil citation for marijuana is a non-expungible offense? So go ahead. I dare you to buy 9 grams of marijuana. I dare you. Then I dare you to take your 9 grams of marijuana and put it in your mama's brownie mix and make the brownies. I dare you. I dare you then to take it brownies to school and cut it up and sell it for $30 a pop. I dare you. What happens then?
Felony arrest, distribution of narcotics, and Judge, you don't even need to sell it for $30 if someone's just giving it around to their friends. It still counts.
Oh, you mean if I just give it away, it's distribution, right?
Still giving away, distribution, no money. You don't even need any money back. If you're just handing it out, you are distributing it.
Oohs and ahs on this side of the courtroom. I'm not gonna tell you a lie. I was a little bit alarmed because Ms. Wilson is a guest for me in my office, and I don't come in your class disrespect you or your buildings. Don't do it in my office. More importantly, I would encourage you, thank you, Marcel, I would encourage you to be respectful on the street, too. Choices. I'm going to tell you that every day sitting in these courthouses across the state, these judges over here make decisions. They make decisions all the time. And I promise if I ask all of them, they will say to you unequivocally, at some juncture, they say, no, Officer Smith, that was a bad stop. That was a bad arrest. That was brutal. And it was brutality against that officer, that individual. They say it all the time. It's their job. They get paid to do it. They volunteer for it. They love it. I ask you, I beg you, let them choose that. Because if you're on the street, you're driving your car, you got a license, that's a privilege. I grant you that. Your taillight's out because you don't know, because you don't ride behind yourself. You get stopped. If you have that sass, that attitude, I say that with all love and respect, because I tell my son, I dare you to sass me. I dare him to. If you have that sass, that attitude, that disrespect on the street, the first thing you do is be arrested for no good reason. I implore you to make good choices. You know what? If Officer McCain made a bad stop, he made a bad arrest, he was mean and disrespectful, you walk to the courthouse, you get a lawyer, and you say, Judge, please, ma'am, he stopped me, he had no warrant, he searched my house and my car, he arrested me, he kicked me in the gut twice, then what's she gonna do? What's she gonna say? What happens then? You throw it out? Is he not guilty? What happens? Something happens, right, Judge? Something happens, right? Something happens. Let her decide. Don't you make a choice on the street that is rash and quick in the moment. Make a good choice on the street. When you get stopped, we all get stopped and cited. Sorry. Sometimes we speed. I got a speeding ticket. I paid it. I was in a rush. Don't want to be late. Took my ticket and went home. Told my boss, he told his boss, told her, then they all know. It happens. I didn't get arrested. Make good choice. Now, I walked from the back to the front, and as I watched the end of the video, and I asked Ms. Wilson to speak. In the end, we didn't play the very last part of the video, not the audio part. You may have seen the visual. We didn't see the audio part. Now, it's for several reasons. One, I'm running out of time. Two, more importantly, is I saw you in the back when I was looking at you. You didn't see me. Your heads were down. You're looking away. I saw some of you crying. That's cool. First time I saw a video, I cried. Miss Poisson's in the back. She won't watch it anymore because she cries. Miss Chester walked out because she doesn't watch it anymore. She cries. The last part of the video, what you didn't see and hear, Miss Wilson can tell you, is that Sean was there, and they were bathing Sean. And there was an OT in there massaging Sean, giving Sean some physical therapy. They changed his clothes, and they helped him breathe because they had a tube in his trach tube sucking the snot out of his throat. I heard you, ooh, it's nasty. They sucked the snot out of his throat. That's how he breathes every day. How often they do that? I forgot how often they did that. You told me before. They suck that out every day?
As frequently as possible, every 4 hours, and he ended up going into a nursing home.
It's a choice he made. But at the end of the day, the last things he did in his life, he didn't choose. Someone else did. Now, we are finished with this portion of the video. We're going to change gears momentarily. The cameras are going to go off in a second. The screen will come down. And we're going to ask the prosecution and the defense lawyers to present some cases for you. I'm going to go back there so they can get set up. If you want to stretch, feel free right here. If you want to walk out for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, cool off, come back. The bailiff will call you back in a moment. Don't be late because he will shut the doors on you, all right? Thank you. You got quiet quick. That's funny to me. How are you? I'm okay now. That's emotional for me. That's my day job, and I enjoy it, but it gets emotional for me. I tell you, because my blood gets boiling. I was talking to Dr. Alato back there. Is your client going? Is your client going?
I think so.
That young man went to a high school in your county where you live. He is over the age of 18, means he's an adult, and he has no problems bringing the liquor to the school. And that man said, I ain't do nobody no harm. Anybody see my face? Yeah. Ms. D'Antonio.
Sorry, I'm raising my hand. What Mr. Van Marken did not tell you was that when that girl's parents took her home, they started seeing signs of alcohol poisoning. She was slurring, she was stumbling, so they actually had to call an ambulance, and she was taken to the hospital, and luckily she was okay. But imagine your own parents saying, my child is drunk and it's getting worse and I'm worried, so that your parents have to call the ambulance. And he knew that. And the other issue is that because Mr. Van Marken is under 21 and he told the officer that he was consuming alcohol, they had to breathalyze him because his car was there and the school kicked him out and told him he couldn't come back. And you can't drive with any alcohol in your blood whatsoever when you're under 21. So they breathalyzed him and he was a .04, so then he couldn't drive. So he's helped send somebody to the hospital, he's kicked out of the school, he's never allowed back, and he can't even drive himself home, and he had to take a breathalyzer. I mean, yuck.
How many laws did he break? He bought alcohol or had it, consumed it, he drove, he gave it to somebody else. And Ms. D'Antonio was just nice to you. Had something happened to her tragic, had her body shut down, had she been injured or hurt more, we wouldn't have the luxury, he would have the luxury of being in my office. He'd be downtown in Ms. Holly's office. That's the circuit court where they have felonies. I'm not going to tell you a story. Dr. Alato was back there. I was beside myself. This is my day job. I'm a full-time job. I already told you what it is. I'm a dad. Let me tell you, any one of you knucklehead gentlemen in this courtroom want to feed my daughter alcohol, good luck to you. Good luck to you. And some of you know my son. And if one of y'all feeds something to my alcohol to my daughter, deal with my son. And then he'll deal with me. He doesn't handle it, I'm going to handle him. And let me tell you, my beautiful ladies, no dude in this courtroom loves you. No, he does not love you. No one loves you yet. I'll let them love you, I'll tell you they can love you. They can't love you yet. It's against the law in my house. This is my house. No dude loves you. So don't let no dude give you no alcohol, no weed, no cocaine, no heroin, nothing. No dude loves you. I love you. He don't love you. He can't love you yet. He's not allowed. Now I'm getting all lathered up. I'm getting excited. You know what happened? I start stuttering. And I took speech class for this. I had speech therapy for years. I'm better at it, but I get lathered up. I get hot. I'm passionate. I love you all. Then the dude had the gumption to tell the officer, hey, can I drive a little bit of weed in my system? Judge Barbera is gone, but the laws have changed now. It says 10 grams of marijuana will not put you in jail. Less than 10 grams. Make no bones about it. Having the marijuana in your system, put my man where? In jail. Smoke the weed, I dare you, and drive. You go to jail. You guys are all going to apply to go do some things later in life. Might be college. Might be a job. Might be federal grants. Funding. Some of you have to apply for applications for school where you go for funding. You have that charge on in your record, you're not getting it. Now, before I get all out, I'm getting excited. I'm sorry, Ms. Holly, Ms. D'Antonio, and Mr. Graham, I'm sorry. Do you have any questions you want to ask the lawyers about the cases? Why they did what they did? What happened? How they got there? I don't know. They come to me right here in front of you, live and in color, and I enjoy it. Do you want to ask them any questions? Plea negotiations. I know y'all work on plea negotiations. Why are we talking about the plea negotiations? How they got there? Nobody. Yes, ma'am. Tell me your name first.
My name is Nina.
Nina, good morning. How are you? I'm great.
So I was just wondering, so how do you get your clients? Is it just the state assigns you
Mr. Corrad and I don't ever get to choose our clients, ever. Whoever is given to us, we represent. So they apply, and if they show that they can't afford a private attorney, then we represent them. But we're all attorneys. We all went to the same law schools and everything. We just don't, unlike private attorneys who can choose their clients and say, no, you have a crappy case, I'm not representing you. We can't really do that.
Is crappy a legal term?
It's a term of art.
In my world, it is.
It's a legal term.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me your name. Good morning. Morning still. Ms. D'Antonio, what's a PBJ?
A PBJ is a probation before judgment. So essentially how that works is the judge will find somebody guilty based on facts or a trial, and then if they don't have any priors or they're worthy of a PBJ in some way, they strike the guilty and they get probation before judgment. So it's a probationary period that the judge attaches different conditions to. They have to do community service, they have to stay out of trouble, they have to submit to urine tests, all kinds of different things, and they get that benefit of probation before judgment. So somebody who has a PBJ can honestly say that they've never been convicted of anything. Now, if they plead guilty, they can't say they've never pled guilty to anything, but they can honestly say, I don't have a conviction on my record because I got that PBJ. Now, the issue with PBJ is that you have to follow what the judge said you need to do. If you don't do what the judge said you need to do, you come back before him and you subject yourself to incarceration, and the judge can take the PBJ away, and then you get the conviction anyway.
Mr. Van Marken is doing community service. You guys do it for the school system, and you probably do it some great places. Community service that I ask you to do, if I get to choose, is not great places. You get to go to the jail. You have to go through the jail. You got to get scanned. You got to go in the jail. You got to fill the paperwork out. You see, well, you pass them. You sign into the jail, you do community service. You don't do it at the cool places y'all get to do it that your system sets up for you. You do it at the dump. You do it at the food shelters and the food banks. I enjoy those things. We should give back. That's our job. Those are the cool spots. The uncool spots are emptying or cleaning out the porta pots. Not fun. Mopping the floors of the urinals at the sports complexes throughout our system, our county. Your gyms are cool inside. We have rec centers throughout the county. You got to mop those floors. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I am a boy. I was a boy. I have boys. And I know that my 5-year-old didn't have the best aim in the world. You know what I'm saying, right? Mopping that floor is not fun. Community service for me is not fun. And if you don't do it, you broke your end of the deal. You keep your end of the deal. You're not a man, woman of your word. What happens then? You go to jail, she's being nice to you. I'm going to put you in jail. It's going to happen. Make good choices. By example, what I mean, Mr. Van Marken made a bad choice. Ms. Fry made a bad choice. They got PBJs. Their record will stay clean. She went to jail. She'll get out on Sunday. They'll do community service. They agree to do it. Keep her end of the deal. Make a better choice. They made a mistake, make it right. Keep her end of the deal. Any more questions for the lawyers? Yes, sir. Tell me your name.
Chris from North County.
Afternoon. Morning, Chris. Keep saying afternoon.
Have you ever had a client that had so much evidence stacked against them that you just told them there was no way they were getting a plea bargain?
Well, there's no such thing as no plea bargain. That has more to do with what we can negotiate, what kind of leverage, I guess, for lack of a better word, we have. Because my clients and I will talk about the evidence against them, evidence we have, and we'll see if they have a legitimate defense we can present or not. You see a lot of the pleas today, and those are pleas, but not for any other purpose except for the fact that the evidence, had that been presented at trial, would have had them found guilty of not just the one charge they pled to, but numerous other charges as well, and would increase their exposure to risk, to
That's why
incarceration.
it's a bargain,
Exactly.
right? You're not just pleading guilty. Like Ms. Fry was facing 8 counts or something like that.
Correct.
So she was facing like 30, 40 years in prison. So a plea bargain is she took advantage of pleading guilty instead of going to trial, wondering if she could win. Maybe some of those charges she could have, but she would have risked a lot more jail. And to her, that isn't worth the risk.
And it really is a compromise because in doing that, she forfeited her right to a lot of things, trial rights, evidentiary rights, witnesses, evidence, testimony, all those things.
Yeah.
I'm curious yet surprised. None of you said a word about what do you call the apocalypse?
Oh, zombie apocalypse.
About the zombie apocalypse. None of you said that. I sat here and watched the video, and I wanted you to come see this video. I saw you. Did y'all see the video? It's beyond words. And it's one of those videos where I just watched some of your faces. I saw it. I'm still in shock, really. And that couldn't be a better, Ms. Danton, thank you, a better example of leading and not following. Ms. Holly has a job to do, and what she told you, or told me, is that something happened first. But not lost on me, and she's a lawyer, she did a good job, but not lost on me is that Ms. Fry did not stab anybody. Ms. Fry was not stabbed. Some dude she knew might have got assaulted, and then a whole bunch of dudes she knew came in that melee. And Ms. Fry went to jail for doing this. Now, that didn't get destroyed. I guess I could knock that off and break it. I'd go to jail. She threw something off a counter. She threw some, was it like 5 energy drinks?
5-hour energy display.
On dude's head. While 30 dudes beat the snot out of him with a shovel handle and a wet dry sign. Chair. Yeah, they were in it. They were in to win it. But y'all had nothing to say about that. This makes me curious. Everybody okay with that? Yeah, good answer. That's the mob mentality that I couldn't ask you anymore not to follow. You got to lead. She went to jail for following, how many people were in there?
15.
15 people. And what Ms. D'Antonio said nicely to you is that Ms. Fry is here. The other ones are not here. The majority of them are not here. They're Ms. Holly's clients downtown facing the felonies for the aggravated assault or the melee or the affray. Those charges that carry jail greater than 2 days she's going to spend or 4 days she's going to spend in jail. Not fun. And I don't know if you in the back saw it, but Mr. Nice, I've had him, and he violated probation. He didn't keep his end of the deal, and he used heroin again. The last time I saw him, as Ms. Holly told you, he wasn't sure he was not going to use. He might have still been strung out when I saw him. His haircut was fresh today. He had no boot on today. His arm was not in a sling today. Last time I saw him, he had a boot, an arm in a sling. He could not use his left side of his body. Ms. Holly spared you the gravity that he put the needle in his ankle to get high. Paralyzed, left side of his body. Today he looks good. He's a success story to me. We've succeeded, at least for the time being, because he's clean and sober. It's bittersweet for us, all of us, bittersweet. Bittersweet because he's sober, he's in jail. He's sober, he's 19. He's sober, he was like you, on the cusp, on the verge of graduating high school. No, last time I saw him studying for his GED. Breaks my heart. I don't get time off my bench very often. I saw him and it makes me emotional. He's clean. He's 20, he's clean. You're all clean. Stay that way. I don't want to help you get clean. If I help you, Mr. Nice helps you. He'll be in your AA meeting, NA meeting in jail. We have one more speaker before we end up and get out of here. Before I let my lawyer step back, any questions you want to ask them about what they did? Yes, ma'am. Tell me your name, please. Jalen?
Yes.
Good afternoon now.
Why wasn't the guy that did the girl like the other kids? Not that they were.
Which one's the?
The guy who did the.
Well, charged with what?
Charged with like why wasn't he?
Because that offense, possessing the alcohol and delivering it or giving it to someone else, is not jailable. If he drove, it would have been jailable. If she had been hurt further, if her body shut down, it would have been jailable. It's a fine-only offense. It's $2,500 fine. But what Mr. Karad also had to tell him, make him aware, is that that offense never goes away. A PBJ will never hide that. In 20 years, you look that up, you'll see that on his record still. It'll be there. The theft or the destruction of property that Ms. Fry had, it goes away. Yes, ma'am. Tell me your name. Haley, stand up.
Why was Homeboy with the dress the only one that got arrested? He had the lockup signs.
He wasn't.
He wasn't. Ms. Fry went to jail.
No, but I didn't see anybody else like get
watching close enough.
He was handcuffed.
Let me let me solve this. Let me make it, no bones about it. I'm an equal opportunity put her in jailer kind of guy. Miss Fry went to jail. Mr. What was his name? Thomas?
Thomas.
He went to jail. Do you want to go to jail? I'll put you in jail. Marcel, you got cuffs? Listen to me. Not everybody has to go to jail. Jail for me is not punishment. It's a motivator. Anybody been to jail? Besides you, Bobby. Anybody been to jail?
Uh-oh.
I've been to jail too. And jail's not fun. You want to go back? You sure? Jail's not fun. Man, for me, jail's not the jump off point. Jail's the last resort. Trust me. People I see in this courtroom are not normally like you. They're older than you. They're your parents. They're your uncles, your cousins, your friends, your nieces, your nephews, whatever they are. They're related to you. They're older. I don't want to put your mom in jail. You want your mom to go to jail? Your dad? Your grandma? I'm sorry. I didn't do that. Jail for me is not the jump off point. Jail for me is last resort. It's a motivator, especially for you at this age. Doesn't always work, trust me. Sometimes there is punishment for not keeping your word, for not making a good choice. But jail for me is not always the jump off point. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am, one more.
My name is Sierra. So with the case with Miss Fry, didn't the video show her dropping the thing on the man's head?
She pushed that thing of 5 energy drinks down. I don't know where it hit him. In the head.
So wouldn't that technically be evidence of assault?
I like her very much, Your Honor.
If you want to be a prosecutor, see Ms. D'Antonio after the show, it probably was an assault. But Ms. D'Antonio and Ms. Holly, they worked it out to some degree.
But, Mommy, can I ask you a question? Based on her involvement and what you know about her and her no priors, would you have gone for the 10 years on an assault based on what you saw? No. Why not?
Well, she doesn't have any prior things and she's a mother.
Right. Best thing about being a prosecutor is you get to decide to be reasonable. Like, she's a mom. She's involved in the mom mentality. Not going to try and go for a 10-year penalty on someone who has no record, who made a bad choice.
It's all part of what we do every day for our cases. Because otherwise, if they said top count, jail, everything, we would say trial, everything, and nothing would ever get done. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to change gears momentarily. Our last speaker, Mr. George, introduced to you. This young man is you. I couldn't make this any easier for you. I'm going to show you your peer. I'm going to show you your peer live and in color, not on a video now. I'm going to make this live and real life for you. This young man is you. He's going to be you one day, hopefully. And he's going to tell you a story, a real live story. It's not fiction. He's here, live and in color. Bobby?
The next speaker is somebody that I have something in common with. We share a last name. This is my son. His name's Zach. He graduated from Canaan High School in 2015. But the reason he's here today is he's been a firefighter for the last 5 years at Kent Island. And one of his friends, close friends, another firefighter, was killed in a car accident on Kent Island. And Zach was there at the scene, and he has some slides to show you and a story to tell. Zach?
So I'm going to tell you a story about my friend Tyler Elsie. We'll start off with how the fire department works. The fire department's like kind of like a big family. All of us consider each other brothers. I'd do anything in the world for any of the guys in my fire department. And Tyler, unfortunately, was one of those brothers. You see the words up here, Elsie. Everybody called him Elsie by his last name. It was just easier to remember him by, and it was kind of like a nickname, I guess you'd say. But unfortunately, Elsie was killed in a car accident due to speed and not wearing a seatbelt. No drugs and alcohol were involved, just speed and no seatbelt. This is a picture of Tyler on one of the calls that we went to. Tyler and I joined the fire department about the same time. I remember this day very well, not because of what happened, just because it was, a great day. It was a beautiful spring day, April 10th, 2013. We were all hanging around. We were cooking some burgers, hot dogs, whatever, playing basketball. We got a call for a rescue box, which is a car accident that requires multiple companies to come and help because the accident's so bad. They told us there were 4 children trapped. So going to the call, I'm thinking, you know, toddlers, right? And I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be terrible. Well, we get there, before we got there, they had announced that 3 of them were already deceased and that they were approximately high school age. This is Tyler, his senior year of high school. He made Firefighter of the Year, which is like kind of like a big deal. You know, it's an outstanding award that you've shown the chiefs that you're a valued member of the department. This is some of the guys hanging out in our man cave or upstairs. These are the 4 boys that were killed in the accident: Tyler, Corey, Harrison, and Mike. They grew up together since they were 5, I believe, lived in the same neighborhood, went to the same schools, and they were separated for a little while, and that day they decided to get together and just hang out. This is at the scene of the accident. Harrison was the driver of the car, and the gray car was the car that they were in. There was an older gentleman in the black car. They said that Harrison was driving approximately 90 to 120 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Lost control of the vehicle and struck an older gentleman in a black vehicle. The older gentleman suffered a laceration to his forearm and was flown to shock trauma. He did survive from his injuries. So I want you to pay close attention to this lady in the floral shirt. The EMS crew had to hold her up. This is Tyler's mom, who came in a personal vehicle to the scene while we were extricating the guys from the car. I don't know about you, but if I made a bad mistake like that, and I wouldn't want my mom there to see me like that. I'd want her to remember me like I am here today, healthy and happy. But unfortunately, she had to see her deceased son in the back of that car. I want you to pay close attention to where the impact of the black car made and how close it is to the center of the silver car. There, I believe Mike was sitting in the front seat here. When we arrived on the scene and we cut the roof off, we didn't even know that there was anybody in that front seat. You see how far down it's pushed, the door was crunched in, and the only way that we knew is we could barely see the top of his head. So here's the door here, and there's the center console. There's about this much room that had crushed his body in between the center console where the radio is and the door, and it sucked that seat all the way down to the floor, so we couldn't even tell that he was in there. There's the center seat right here, and then there's the door. That's the seat Tyler was sitting in. There's a better picture of it. Okay, so there's the door, and there's the emergency brake. So there's literally no room for a person to be sitting in there. He was completely, just virtually disintegrated in that car. There's the door and the radio. So these are Tyler's shoes, and the reason I wanted to show you this is because this is the side of the car. Everybody knows how big of a space there is between the center where the cup holders are and that door. Obviously enough to put your feet, but the impact was so great that it crushed the side of that car all the way into the cup holders, and his feet were wedged in that car. It took us an hour and a half to get his body out of that car, which normally an extrication takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. This is the memorial ceremony we had for Tyler. Ken Island, where I grew up, is like a real close-knit group of people. There were thousands and thousands of people lined up outside the football stadium at the local high school to show their support for the families. This is the memorial that we put down there at the crash site. And I can remember for months driving by and seeing every time I drove by, there was cars stopped, knelt down, praying, whatever, saying their hellos and goodbyes. This is a list of Tyler's injuries. Yeah, I know he had a severed skull. It completely severed his spinal cord and his brainstem, massive brain hemorrhage, which is a large brain bleed, excuse me. He had broken jaw and teeth, a ruptured heart, crushed chest, blood in his chest cavity and lungs, fractured right arm, fractured pelvis, lacerated spleen, liver, kidney, bowel, and stomach. Both his right and left femurs had multiple fractures. His left leg was pulverized, so it was turned to dust. So Tyler was my size. He was 6'2". After the autopsy, they measured him out at 5'6". I don't know if you guys have ever seen a dead body before, or a body in a casket, but if you don't look. But this is Tyler in his casket. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because at the end, you'll see a picture of him before his accident. They had to show this picture to me before I went to the funeral to guard his casket because they said that I wasn't going to recognize him. They did the best that they could putting him back together, but that's what they got. And I didn't recognize him when I went to the casket. There he is before the accident. There he is after the accident. And let me tell you something. Burying a brother, something that you never want to do. Standing there trying to hold his mother up at the funeral, it's something that you guys never want to experience. And I know that I don't want my mother at my funeral. And I hope you guys decide to make the right decision and put your seatbelt on and drive the speed limit.
Been doing this now for almost 4 years, 4 times a year. We change it up a lot. I like to keep things fresh. I like to keep you as students engaged. The one thing that will always be the same, that we will never change, is that we always end with Zach. Because he hits it home. He hits a home run every time. I challenge any one of you, man or woman in this courtroom, I challenge you to tell me you have the courage, the heart, to drive somewhere in a truck or a car, emergency apparatus, whatever it may be, at 17 and find your best friend dead in a car. I challenge you, tell me you'd cut him out and talk about it. I challenge you, tell me you'd cut him out, talk about it, and come talk to your peers 4 times a year. Does it get better for you than me? I can't make that up. I challenge you. That's courage. And I appreciate his courage. But it's not his courage why he's here. It's a true story. Elsie wasn't drunk. He wasn't high. He was in a car. And his best friend cut him out. I've been to all of your schools. Talked to Mr. Hood about the community he's developing his baseball team and the family that it is. I don't think Ms. Kristoff's here today, but I know her class is, and she emails me all the time. We talk about the community and the development you have in your classroom and the structure you have in there. Creek, I know you have your meetings monthly, and you have community. You have a new facility over there that Mr. Cook had built. Arundel, I was at your high school the other day, and I saw a facility back there. Annapolis, you have yards and yards of awesome, awesome facilities. Turf for days. North County, you have an awesome stadium that my sons play soccer in on a regular basis. I tell you this for one reason. You just saw Zach talk about the memorial. I don't want to go to your school for your memorial. I don't want you to go to your own school for memorial. If you go to your school for graduation or a party or the prom or a homecoming dance. Just have a good time. I don't want to go for Memorial. We talked a lot today about different things. Let's cover the gambit. Talk about a little bit of marijuana. Sean had that. Talk about some speed, maybe a little bit of speed. LZ was in the car, might be going too fast. We talked about drinking and driving. We talked about just having drugs. Talked about making decisions. If you leave here today, you leave with one thing. I would beg, I would implore, the team behind me hopes and prays that you leave here thinking one thing. You're going to make good choices. No one here wants to scare you straight. I like to have a good time myself. But I've watched you all morning. I've watched you turn away when they snuck the snot out of Sean's throat. I watched you turn away when you saw Elsie in the casket. Are there any parents here with your students? Any parents here in the courtroom at all? Parents over here? Yeah. I'm a parent. It's my job. I tell you that all the time. As a child, which I am someone's son, my mother and father. I will tell you as a grown man, the worst thing that we can do as children is make our parents cry. The worst thing we can do as children is make our parents cry. Elsie's mom was on the scene, bawling, you saw it. Sean's dad was on the video, you saw it. If Dr. Arlauder calls me between now and I don't know when, June, I saw the email, June 7th is the last day, maybe for my kids, I'm excited about that. If he calls me and says, Shane, I need a favor. We're going down to Evans Funeral Home. So-and-so was in a car accident after the prom. I'm going, I'm coming. But I failed. Because now, the biggest program of all time, I got the biggest audience, and I charge you with spreading the word. Leave here. You can say that I'm crazy. You can be mad because I put cuffs on you. You may think that I'm stupid, that I'm an old head, that I don't get it. You may think I'm cool. That's also cool by me, too. But if you go back to your school and Mr. Elson's class at Annapolis, you say, spread the word that this program's cool, or that at least I learned something, I saw something, I got out of class, that's a bonus too. If you go back to Harbor and you tell those students there, next time I'm gonna have 2 courtrooms full. But also you made a choice to do that. We came here all day today. This team put in hours beforehand. Staff was in here last night at 4:30, 5 o'clock trying to get chairs. We knew we'd have a packed house. Miss Pope is behind me. She never says a word, but she does all the labor to get everybody here signed up, in place, on time. This team is phenomenal. I'm privileged to be a part of it. But at the end of the day, it does nothing if we don't effectuate change on you. All I want you to go back and have a good time at school. Man, prom's coming. I get it. School's out. I get it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy high school. I had a great time in high school. I loved every minute of it. Make good choices. No one here is implying you shouldn't have fun. Understand the choices. Don't make your mom cry. Don't make your dad cry. If you need help, ask for it. You need a ride, call for it. Let's talk about choices. I've been picking on Brandon all morning. Not because I know Brandon personally. I know who he is. I like his tie. I own the same tie. But Brandon chose to put that tie on. The choice he made coming here today, a conscious decision he made. He chose his own clothes. Let's talk about Sean. Somebody tell me what Sean was wearing the last time you saw him. What was Sean wearing? Anybody remember? Who said that? I heard you over there. Somebody say something? Oh, you said behind me? Snitch. Who said it? What was Sean wearing? You remember? Who'd say? Yeah, a hospital gown. What about Brett Nice? The kid came from the back of the door, showed you his arm. What was he wearing? A what? What about Elsie? What was he wearing? Zach, where are you? Zach, turn around. Elsie wore that. What about Miss Fry? What is she wearing right now? Anybody know? Who chose Sean's outfit? Who said Sean? Yes, nurse chose Sean's outfit. Who chose his last outfit? Yeah, funeral director. How about Brett? Who chose Brett's outfit? Who chose Brett's outfit? I did. I own it. I own it. I put him in jail. I own it. I put him in jail. I picked it. Who chose Elsie's outfit? His brother in the casket. How about Miss Fry's outfit? Who chose her outfit? I did choose her outfit. That's just it. That's just it. If y'all come to my office, you're in it, and I choose, it's a no-go for you. It's a no-go. Don't let me choose. Contrary to my friend's belief over here, I forget where she is now. There she is. I don't put everybody in jail. I don't have to. But some people do. And if I choose, the chance you go back behind that door with Bobby George and Marcel. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, somebody like Zach, a first responder, an EMT, a firefighter responds, and Zach makes a phone call to the county police. And you all live in the county, so it'll be an Anne Arundel County cop knocking on your mom and dad's door. Ma'am, I have some bad news for you. Can you please sit down? Is your son John? We found John on the street today. I have to tell you, he's passed away. And then someone from Evans Funeral Home picks her son's outfit. It's not all gloom and doom. Those are choices you get to make. You also get other choices, to graduate, have parties. And you know what I'm going to say next, right? Invite me. I have the best team known to mankind in this state, in this room. They're lawyers, they're police officers, they're clerks, they're administrators, they run the computers, they run the cameras. We have drugs, we know that drugs are drugs, we have chemists. We have social workers. I have the best team in the state, in this building, right here, right now. We do this for free because we love you. Girls, those boys don't love you. We love you. Now, we love you so much that I will come to graduation. I'm not wearing my suit. I'm coming, I'm gonna look fly. What? My red Chucks are in the back. I'm coming with them. I wanna come to graduation, but I can't come if you don't invite me and if you don't graduate. You don't graduate if you make poor choices. You don't graduate if you're not here. We're almost done. Before I sit down and let you go back to class, any questions you want to ask any of the team members here or myself before we go? The answer is great, there's none. Ladies and gentlemen, you came from 6 schools, 7 schools actually. I lied, my math's not good, see? 7 schools. This is our last time for the year we get a break. We're gonna re-energize, we're gonna revamp, we're gonna make it better. You tell your friends, your classmates what you saw here. Most important, when you're out there away from us, because today is Thursday, Friday's coming. Spring break's on the horizon. Right, see, now we're talking. When you are on spring break, I'm not gonna ask you to, I need you to make great decisions. Enjoy the time away. Listen to me, enjoy it, but don't make bad choices. I appreciate your time today. You've been fabulous. Good luck to you all. Have a great day.